Hi everyone, it's Arlene here. Today I'm using a stamp set called 9 Lives. It is in the Stampin' Up! Occasions catalog. There's actually 17 stamps in this particular set, and I'm going to be using a few of them for today's card. So let me go ahead and show you the paper that I will be using. I'm using a Highland Heather for the card base. So this is just an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that's cut in half and then scored down the middle. And then I have a piece of the Gingham Gala paper. So this comes in a 6x6 pack in the Occasions catalog, and there's a variety of colors, and then it's double-sided. So it is a smaller pattern on one side, which is the side I'm using, and then the other side, the flip side of it, has just a larger pattern for it. So this gives you two different looks. And then I also have another piece of the Highland Heather, and I will have the dimensions down below in the show notes for you. And then I have a smaller piece of Whisper White cardstock, and then I just have a scrap of Whisper White cardstock that I'll be stamping on and then cutting out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this piece here, the patterned paper, and we'll just go ahead and adhere that down onto the front of the card. And then I'm just going to set that aside. And then let's start with the other piece of the Highland Heather. Now I've got a few different stamps here that I went ahead and just applied four different stamps on the acrylic block. And that way I can get, rather than stamping it all, one at a time, I can get 4 at one time. And I'm basically going to be just turning this piece of the Highland Heather into like a patterned cardstock, if you will. And you can tell that this is going to be pretty much a monochromatic card. And I just kind of randomly go across here. Let's see. Now it's good, you see I'm working with a sheet of paper underneath. I've got actually my paper pad here. But this is good because that way when you stamp something like this and you're going off of the paper, so all of your pad of paper just catches the excess stamps or the stamp that you're stamping. Okay, we've got that. We'll set that aside. Now with this white piece of cardstock, I've actually went ahead and stamped a saying on the front of it in the Tuxedo black ink by Memento. I did that ahead of time. The dimensions that I give you allow for you to be able to cut above a little bit because that's what you're probably going to do. That's what I do anyway. I always have extra. And the reason why I like to have a little bit of give for my card, the dimensions, is because I'm using the banner triple punch. And sometimes I'm just not exactly sure, where I'm going to stamp it at, where it's going to land up. And sometimes, so for this particular card, I know that I'm going to just trim off from the 2 corners there and trim that off. So you've got kind of like see the pattern looking right there. And so I know I'll be trimming some of that off. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay. And I've got a little punch right here. And I'm just going to be punching a couple of holes right next to each other like this. Let's see if you can see that. There you go. Just like that. Set that aside. And then, again, using my Memento black ink, the Tuxedo black, I'm going to stamp the outlined cat image in the black ink. So you can see, dial that in there. This is the stamp I'm using first, and then I'm going to go over that in this second stamp. You could also use this stamp if you wanted to give it a different look. We actually have a cat that we're taking care of for somebody, and this reminds me a lot of him, as well as the color that I'm stamping in. So again, this one is going to go first, and then this one. get that guy stamped. And then I am going to be using the Smokey Slate to give him some color and dimension. And let's hope I do this even here on camera. It's a lot harder to do. Yeah, you can always fussy cut this little guy out, or what's nice about this new stamp, it also, our cat punch cuts it out perfectly. Cute guy that he is. This really looks a lot like our cat that we have. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get this all adhered together. And I'm going to just layer this piece flush with the gingham paper up on top. And lay that down. Now, another little trick that I want to show you. I'm using a piece of the Highland Heather ribbon. This is ribbon that is in the Sale-A-Bration catalog, and it comes in a set of 5. In my last video I used the yellow color, and this is a product that you cannot buy but you can earn for free. With every $50 purchase you can earn something in that catalog for free, so it's pretty cool to get some extra fun stuff for no cost. So this is just a way to make it look like there's a pretty little bow here, but you don't actually have to tie a bow. So I'm taking the end and then just with a stylus push that down, turn it over, pull it through, do the same thing with the ribbon on the other side, and then you're going to turn it over and you're going to kind of crisscross them, and this end you're going to push through on the other side, the hole there. Same thing with the other end of the ribbon, push through. And then by trimming the edges here, the ends, it's funny because I got a new pair of scissors, or a different pair, thinking that these would be sharper than my last video. Had a little bit of a problem there. Okay, and see, it's really quick and it looks like a really pretty bow there. And let's get that adhered. This is going to go on the top again, in the center. I just center it, I think anyway. All right, and then this guy, and I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals just to pop him up a little bit. All right, and there's that little guy. Now comes the sequins. I'm not sure if I want to use purple. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the Highland Heather. Let's just stick about maybe 3 of these down below. Okay, and it is all complete. Nice, perfect card to give your friends who are cat lovers. Zoom in a little bit there so you can see that. So thanks everyone so much for stopping by, and have a great day.